Is it going to be in the UK or back home?
Good question. I don't know. And this is the point.
Yes. It's tough.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have to have a courage. I cried a lot.
What is it about Italy which you love?
I love that it is surrounded by sea, by the
okay.
sea. Oh my God. One thing I do, I forget what is behind, and I have my eyes in what I have forward.
Okay, now I'm curious a bit because I'm a very curious person what that song is all about.
Singing when I was having a shower.
Yeah, everyone's a bathroom singer.
Yes.
It was just 15 days when I had to leave the country.
Wow.
So I had to pack.
Yes.
Don't you think?
Yes. Totally. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah.
I'm a Hindu, but I know the ideas of what Bible teach, what Jesus teach. Yeah.
I love pop.
I know.
I love that style.
Yeah, I've seen you perform.
Yeah.
That's a very good observation. As a musician, you are picking some of the characteristics of a language, because I've never heard anyone say or judge Italian language in that way. It's very interesting. Your belief towards your faith and Jesus was like a source of energy for you. All right, boys and girls, this is Epic Sensation, and you're watching Epic from the Scratch. All right, so guys, I've got Giuliana with me. She's a very talented and incredible singer and songwriter. I've seen her perform once with one of my friends, Sid.
Yes.
And it was an incredible show. And I think you did all of your songs, which was written by you guys, didn't you?
Yes.
It was, I think, 2 songs were original, and then you guys did cover songs.
Exactly.
All right, so Giuliana, tell us about your background, how everything started, and what is all about, like back home and stuff.
Okay, so I started playing the piano in one academy that was close to my home, in my city, that is in Argentina. So I was very little and I started to play the piano, but then there was a period of my life that I was separated from music. I was not playing music at all. I was going to dancing lessons instead. And then after the pandemic, I knew Jesus. My life changed, and I started to connect again with music.
Yeah.
So I started again to go to my classes of piano, my classes of guitar, and then I started as well to know that I had that dream of traveling to another country. And with my mom, we were searching jobs here in London. I was searching to be an au pair first, so I was going to work in a house, and then we knew about the school, and I applied. Yeah. I entered.
You got it.
I got it, and now I'm here studying popular music performance in the University of West London.
All right, always plug UWL rocks. Okay, but let's go up a little bit back, because you mentioned that you started playing piano.
Yes.
And then you stopped. So what was the reason? Is it the life got too busy, or it was some other reason? What was it all about? And how long was it this gap?
The reason is that I love to do so many things since I'm very little. So I didn't have enough time, and I was going to dancing, I was going to handball, I was going to painting. It was too much. Yeah. So that was the reason. And it was like from 7 years old till like 7 years.
7 years of gap.
Yes.
Oh, that's a lot of gap, isn't it?
Yeah.
And when was it when you started music, like playing piano?
When I was a kid, what time?
Yeah.
I was like 5 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
So do you have like a background in your home, like your mom or your family, they were into music? What was it all about?
My father is engineer. My mother is an accountant. Okay. My sister is a lawyer. Okay. And my other sister is a lawyer.
Okay. Then explain everyone, how did this 5-year-old child got into this keyboard and playing piano and stuff like that?
Well, my mother was the one that encouraged me to do
Mhm.
it. When she was younger, she was at some point learning piano.
Uh-huh.
And what is very strange that I always remember, and that's why I think that this passion for music comes from God, is that I was very little and I enjoyed going to my piano in my house and practicing. Like all the lead sheets that they were giving me, I was practicing and staying, and I have that memory so fresh in my head. Even though I was very little, that was a moment that I enjoyed a lot. And that's why when I ask myself, why did I leave that? It's strange. Like, I don't know. Maybe I was too little and I didn't have that consciousness of saying, okay, we have to be constant in this and we have to do it properly. Come on. It was just like a game, maybe, in that time for me.
So with regards to, because you also mentioned that you were dancing, you were doing painting and things like that. So were you always into art? Because you also mentioned your family, your father was engineer, mom's accountant, your sister's a lawyer. So how, I mean, it's really hard to accept, because my family, because I come from a middle class family, and they always have this thing like, okay, education always first. So how that thing happened where your family was like, okay, do whatever you like to do?
It was not so easy.
Okay.
No, it was not so easy. Principally for me, because in my head also it was very, I had to have a lot of courage to decide for that career in my life.
Makes sense.
That was connected with art. And it's not that my parents were telling me you can't do it, but I felt the pressure, even though not only from my parents, from my culture, because it's not so common that people are going for what they love.
Yes, it's tough.
Yes. You have to like have a courage, and you have to be very certain that, okay, God wants me here, for example. I know that this is where I need to be, because also the gifts that we have also are approved. So in that time I was going to do psychology.
Ooh, okay.
Yes.
And we are talking your schooling, or is it your college?
It was when I was finishing
High school.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
In that moment.
So psychology.
I was like, psychology or I go for dancing. That was my first two options. And I was going to many different kind of talks where there were people helping me to decide. I can't tell you how many of those I went. There were so many that I went.
When you talk about talks, is it like counseling sessions?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes.
So is it back home only?
Back home.
So right now you're doing your bachelor's in UWL, is that right? So you finished your high school and then you moved over here. Is that correct?
No, I finished high school. Then I went to Buenos Aires, that is the capital city of Argentina.
Okay.
And there I started dancing.
Ooh.
Instead of psychology, in that moment I said, no, I will start dancing. Pandemia came, a change in my life came, I was born again. And this of music came to my life, and I said, no, it's here. It's music, what I love to do, and my purpose is more in music, so I have to study music. And then I came to London.
It's really beautiful that with your situation, because with the pandemic, a lot of people's their life has changed in a negative way. But lucky you, and even lucky me, that our life has been changed in a positive way. And how did you channelize that to because you said your life went messed up in pandemic, and then you at that time you were doing dancing, and then you switched into music. So what was that switch?
Good. Okay, so it was like this. When it came the pandemia, I, as you said, I went to my worst moment of my life. I was very, very deep sadness. And in that moment, the best thing of my life came, that was knowing God. And after that, I was feeling such a love inside of my heart that dancing was not enough to express that. And I started to sing So I was singing all the time. When I went to the park, I was singing about this love that I was feeling from God in my heart, and this like new Giuliana that was also coming, being born again. And that started everything. Singing in the park, singing when I was having a shower.
Yeah, everyone's a bathroom singer.
Yes. So that's the beginning of everything. And after that, I started again with my lessons. I started practicing. I remember this is very important, what I will say now. My father, I left my career of dancing in that moment.
Yeah.
Because I had I had to go for music. And my father, when I told him I will leave my career, my mother was worried because she wanted me to continue, to finish. And my father said to me, it's okay, Julie, do it like that if you have that decision. But whatever you decide to do, go to lessons, practice, do it. Because even if you're not going to the university, practice, go to lessons, make yourself a professional in what you want to do.
Give your 100%.
Yes, and grow in what you decide. And that was very helpful for me.
Yeah.
Because I see a truth when in that words that he said to me.
Yeah. What do you think? How important is that kind of support system in life?
Our parents.
Yeah. Not just parents. Like for example, with you, it was your parents. With some other people, they have parents and friends and some other people as well. So in general, what's your opinion? Like specifically in the art field, if you're pursuing the art field, how important is having a support system who backs you? Because at the end of the day, us artists, we need some kind of validation, because at the end of the day, we are creating something from new, from the scratch. And when we are creating something, it always feels like it's the most amazing thing, but always it feels like we need a validation from someone else, is it, as well? So what do you think about that?
I think the same as you. We need a family, and I'm not talking about some people don't have a family present with them, but I think that we always have the opportunity to build this family. For example, in my case, in the church, or with my real family, or with my friends of university. Is so important. We as human beings, and what you said in the pandemic, I think that we were isolating ourselves, and it's something that can happen to ourselves. That is very easy to go to that place where we isolate. But we really need each other. We can't do alone. It's like I always ask God, I say, please, God, give me a family here in London, because I miss my family of Argentina, and I need this support, this love, this perfect love that takes out every fear from your heart. It's the love. And I also want to add that my father, for example, is the one that most listens my music in Spotify. I have an email every month that says your favorite listener listen your songs 100 times this month. He's the most loyal person that
loyal fan of you.
Exactly. And that is a lot for me. And it's enough. Even though today maybe it might be my father and some friends. For me, that is enough. That to my father is making him happy when he listens my song. It's maybe one person, but it's enough.
Makes you feel alive. And it's really interesting that you touched on the notion of community, because us as humans, we are meant to live in communities. Like if we say like 2000 years, 4000 years back, people are living in communities. They have their own small groups. And you mentioned in the pandemic, we were all stuck at one place, and it actually affects your mental health. So my question now to you is: so when you moved from your home place to UK, what was that decision? Because it's a tough decision. Because I also moved from my country, and I don't have anyone in the UK as well. So how did you made your mind, and what were you feeling? Because I was scared. I was very scared when I just moved. And with my situation, it was just, I would say, 15 days, that's all. So I was not expecting that I'll get the visa, because my previous two visa for Canada got rejected. So when I got the visa for the UK, it was just 15 days that I had to leave the country.
Wow.
So I had to pack, and I didn't got any time, so I had to pack. Couldn't meet few of the family members and stuff, so it was very chaotic. And when it was my first night in the UK, couldn't sleep. So it was freaking right,
Yes.
So how would you tell your part of experience, because I assume that you also don't have any family in the UK like that. So what was it all about?
Okay, so I am a very sociable person, and at the same time, I love to be in my room,
Okay.
painting, doing music. Like, I have those two things in my heart, characteristics. And for me, family, friends, church is so important. Like, it changes my life completely when I am with them, when I share quality time. For me, quality time with people, when you are able to connect deeply.
Yes.
And when I came here, I didn't, as you said, there was no one, but Jesus. Jesus was the only person that was for me in that moment. And I felt sad at the beginning. I felt that I was alone. I felt that I cried. I cried a lot. But that suffering, and this is a good point where I want to go, this suffering that I had at the beginning helped me for good, because I was knowing better God. I was going more often to my room with my guitar and asking him to come to me, and I started to have a closer relationship with my Father of Heaven. And I will always remember that, because before, when I was in Argentina, there were so many friends, so many people that I was able to go and to be together all the time. And here it was no one. And that helped me so much to have a deeper connection with him, and also to be more confident in who I am, and that I didn't need validation from outside. But if that the best person of the world loves me as I am, then everything is okay. And this is the point. This, that when we are suffering, sometimes we are very we think that everything is bad because we are suffering. Or maybe as musicians, when we are having a period of nothing, where we are suffering because we don't have inspiration, then we have to know that after that suffering there comes a harvest in a way. So it's very important to be perseverant, even though we are suffering. In, like, don't stop practicing. For example, if you are a musician, don't stop, in my case, reading the Bible if I'm suffering. Don't stop doing that, because after that you will see a change, maybe that you are needing in that moment to grow. Like, every suffering gives you growth.
I mean, it's very interesting, because you mentioned that you even cried, you were sad, but your belief towards your faith and Jesus was was like a source of energy for you, which took you away from that sadness and negative feelings. So my question, I mean, I'm going to touch on how you got so connected to into your faith, but more than that, how this move, because you are coming from Argentina, the education system, the learning aspects is very different over there than the UK. So you moved here, you don't have any family, you are overwhelmed. I mean, you have a source of energy, but how were you coping up with all the things? Because I struggled when I came. So how, I mean, I understand that you say you keep on doing, you create one habit and you stick on that habit, create that consistency. So you you keep your life sort of, I mean, being in a bubble is not a right term, but being in a bubble which is like your comfort zone. So when you be in that, you can push forward, but there should be more ways that you might have done to cope up in this big shift you have done in your life. So what was that like?
I think people
Okay.
in uni
Mm,
that were there for me,
yeah.
people in my residence that were there to listen me,
Yeah.
to support me, to be my family as well,
Yeah.
and people from church
Oh, okay.
that were able to understand me deeply, what I was feeling, and just sharing with them was what I needed. So there was some important moment when I was it was like 5 days since I was in the UK in my residence, and I was talking with my parents a lot.
Yeah.
Every day, a video call because I needed no friends yet.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I remember I had a window in my house. I was calling them and I was telling them, look, I was going to the window and with the camera showing the window, and I was telling, look, downstairs there is a place where students go and they have like moments of playing or playing cards, but I'm so afraid to go.
Okay.
I'm so afraid. I was telling them, I am afraid. I don't know how to socialize. And they were telling me, you have to go. You have to go downstairs and say hello and talk to people. Surely, come on, you can do this. And I said, yes, they are right. They are right. So I went downstairs and there was one person I never will forget. This person is called Jin, comes from China. And he said to me, welcome. And he made me feel so comfortable that day. And he invited me to the group that was there. And that was the beginning. And I think that is the step that sometimes we need. Ask for help, search people, and leave the fear. Because at the end, why are we so afraid?
Yeah. No, but actually, there are a lot of people, those who feel very shy of going and talking to people.
Yes.
And I truly understand, because even for myself, I had to find that comfortable spot. Like your comfortable spot was that one person, your friend, who met you and who made you feel comfortable. Mine was a bit different. Mine was because I couldn't sleep the first night, and I was like, what I do, this is not how it's going to be. And I have to talk to my family also, and I don't want to show my sad face to them because I'm so far from them. So my thing was like, okay, let me search where I can perform, because performing and playing live is something which I feel like a space for me. So that happened, and while performing, I started making friends. So that was my part of that story. But coming back to you, how did the decision you took for that course, you're doing composition, music composition, right? So you said you were a singer songwriter, but how did you decide? Composition is something like you write those, right? Because I'm very bad at those things. So how did you decide that you want to do those kind of stuff?
I don't write the lead sheet.
Oh, okay, got it.
But what I do is in the morning, I go to my piano and I start to sing principally to God, and I start to create music. And in that moment, things sometimes are built. Songs are built in that moment. Sometimes no. Sometimes they are just. But when there is something built, then after I start like putting it together, maybe using logic to put the song and have certain ideas. So that is what I do. And I searched for a course that was able to give me lessons of how to compose music, what tools we can have from maybe other musicians that are composing and taking from them certain tools. And popular music performance, the one that I'm doing, had that.
That's good.
So that's why I chose that career.
All right, let's move forward to because you mentioned that when you initially came and you were shy and you were not able to talk. How that person who was shy, who couldn't go and speak to people, became the leader of a Christian society in the University of West London?
The thing is that my real person is not shy.
Okay.
My real person is open. It's just that I needed to break the ice.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
that was what was happening.
Mm.
So I think that as we are walking, we have more confidence as we are watching that we can do things. So the first step for me was going to that room to socialize with people from my residence.
Yeah.
Then I found the church that it was so beautiful. It was the church that I had to be. So that I found the church. Then I started to make friends in uni. So step by step, I was having more confidence,
Yeah.
And then I think God was opening certain doors, like the Christian Union, that was amazing, that opportunity. And I said, yes, let's do it. And today we are doing so good things. We are going to do a dinner, an international dinner soon. And everyone will bring their dishes from their countries.
Wow, that's amazing. Because I follow you on your Instagram and stuff, and you should also follow her as well. Support all the artists that you should do, man. Because I've seen your posts and your stories and videos that you gather people, and I think this is something which you do weekly, that you have sort of like quiz from Bible, something like that. If I correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
And I find it very interesting because you I think in that story you shared i I think 2 or 3 words, and you were like, okay, tell in 10 seconds from which words or which part of Bible it was. And I really like that promptly people were coming, and it was like a game.
Yes.
So now let's come and break the ice. How did you got into your faith? Like, what was that thing which inspired you, or which attracted you towards Jesus? How that happened, and when it happened?
Okay, so I was more or less 20 years old when the pandemic started. So when that started, I realized that as everything stopped, for me, in my case, I don't know people how you lived it, but in my case, it was a moment of introspection, going inside and saying, okay, what is happening with me? Like, stop, everything stopped.
Yeah.
And I found that I had a void in my heart, that I have always had that, but I have always been doing like school, having friends, meeting, that I never realized that inside of me there was like a void, something that was not enough inside of my heart, not completed. And in that moment I started searching, reading. I was reading books, finding where was the key for happiness.
What kind of books you were reading that time?
In that time I was reading
Was it like normal fiction and things like that, or was it specifically?
There was one, for example, that was how to be in the present moment.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. And even though they were useful, I didn't find when you find the one that you need. I didn't. And when I was a kid, I was going to a Catholic church, but I didn't as well. So where was the key? And in that moment, I went to the hairdresser. I started cutting my hair. If you want, I will send you a picture.
No, I have that. I've seen that YouTube video. Your hairdressing video. Yeah.
Really?
Yes, I've seen
well,
that.
but this was before that. There was a moment where I cut all my hair with that hairdresser. I cut all my hair. I will send you a picture. You can put it if you want, so that people can see. And it was because I was sad. I needed to change. And when I went to change, this hairdresser, she knew me since I'm very little. She said, you are sad. There's something with you that is happening. You are not good. What's happened, surely? And I opened my heart and I said, I can't find the key. I don't know where's the happiness. I don't know where it is. And she said, I was the same. I was searching through the same books that you are reading. I was trying the same things that you are trying. But the one that gave me that was Jesus. God will fulfill that void. Trust that there is an answer. Because my fear was, maybe there's not an answer. And in that moment, I felt that what she was saying was real. And after 1 year, after that I was suffering, because I listened. I didn't put into practice because I didn't know how to.
Exactly.
After 1 year, then I received Jesus in my life by a prayer, and I started to read the Bible, and that changed my life because I started to have a relationship. Everything I believe is about relationship. Relationship with your mother, relationship with your father, relationship with God,
with work,
and in everyone we can get better. There's every time we can get deeper, every time we can get further in our relationship. It never finishes, and that is beautiful because it's an eternal journey of knowing someone, and that the same is with him.
So during COVID, I assume this was happening during COVID. Is that right? So how did you made it, or is it like you from the beginning only when you started your music career, you started creating or like making music which are connected to your faith, or is it always been like you were doing music like normal random music, modern music, and then you started creating music which is related to your faith?
I did 3 songs, I believe, at the beginning that were not completely related with faith. Only 3. And then I said, let's go here.
Got it. What is that thing with making music with faith for which are connected with the faith? Because I know there are like what 2 billion people who follow this faith, this biggest faith in the world, and the idea, because I'm a Hindu, but I know the ideas of what Bible teach, what Jesus teach, and almost all the faith they have some kind of similar sort of teachings. How did you correlate? Because see, I'm going to be blunt right now, because there are a lot of people those who find the kind of music which I have related to faith, they say they are not that popular. So what you are looking into your future, as in, do you want to carry on with that, or in future you want to mix it up with the modern music also, because you're a music artist as well?
Well, I think,
because I understand your what you are doing, but there are majority of people those who don't have the kind of taste of the music that you create. Like for example, they want to listen about happiness or partying and things like that. With me, with artists like us, we listen to parts of music. Like with me, I produce music also, so I listen to, okay, what's going on, how it is composed, what kind of lyrical schemes you have used. So I'll listen to it in a technical way, as well as I'll listen to lyrics. But not everyone listen to that. So how would you mix in your future career? Are you going to mix it, or are you going to stick with this, that you want to create like a movement where more people come?
Okay, so for me, what it is in my heart, 2 things. First, where I feel the purpose, the highest purpose, is when I'm in my piano singing songs to God. That is where my heart feels complete. My heart feels the highest joy in that moment. When I sing songs that are not Christian, I can enjoy them. I like to, for example, they asked me to act as another character and all that. I enjoy it. But my purpose, where my heart beats,
that's
is there. So I can't lie to myself. I can't lie to God. I can't lie. So I think it has sense. Maybe my career will go more in this path. And as well, there's another thought that I wanted to share with you, that is that there are limits. Because we have a perception of how gospel music is. And we have, if I ask you now what is Christian music, well, you will like have an imaginary imagination.
I have a very interesting narrative right now. I'm going to tell you after this answer.
Okay.
You're going to say.
Okay. But my idea is to break it. For me, we can do Christian music that is pop. We can do Christian music that is like reggaeton. We can mix so many. We can do electronic Christian music. And that is my idea. I want to investigate and to go further, because as well, my type of music is pop. I love pop.
I know.
I love that style.
I've seen you perform.
And I am excited to do that.
Do you have you seen those concerts which Kanye West does?
No.
Oh, you should see that. I mean, Kanye West is like a modern music as well as rap music, like mega star, and he has like huge concerts. There are like 50,000, 60,000 people come, and he actually does Christian music, but it's in a rap sort of environment. So the reason I asked you is because people like you, people like Kanye West, they are actually influencing more people to create a different genre like that and make it more popping. So that's why I actually asked you that: do you want to mix it in future, or do you want to go in that direction? Because if you're choosing that direction, you can put like 100% effort in that. You can even expand more on that and probably influence other people, because what majority of the artists do is they do both the things.
Ah.
Half they do their own cultural kind of music, and half they do whatever is going in the market. So that's the only reason I asked you that question. What's your trajectory is going to be? Are you going to go towards the one agenda, which is okay, that making Christian music makes me feel happy, that's why I'm going to create that own music? So that's really interesting, but you should actually see that, because I find it very, very, very interesting that Kanye West is like it's a huge choir, and they have instrumentalists, they have like a choir with at least like 20, 25 people. They are all singing, and they have hip hop beats. It's very cool. You should actually check that out. And I don't know if I would also love to be a part of your if you do any kind of like music next, stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's talk more about in the future. What is your plans?
Mm-hmm.
Because I can see you got CDs on your hand as well.
This is a tool to create songs that maybe we'll use it
Oh.
later.
Oh, okay. What is that? Did you create that?
No, this is the cycle of fifths wheel,
Uh-huh.
and it shows in each key which is the fifth chord, which is the fourth chord, which is the sixth chord,
That's
all the
interesting.
chords of the scale.
Show it to them. That's interesting. I've never seen that.
You can also make it with your hands, but I bought it in Amazon.
Oh, okay.
It's very useful. I love it.
All right. So next, tell me about what are you going to do after this course?
Okay, so I have one idea, one main idea. My desire is to create music, but at the same time, I love to create music videos. I like to create the visual of the music.
Yeah.
So I have many ideas. Like I am very creative with images. So my idea in the future, when I work, is to have like a production studio where we can do obviously about my songs as well, but about other artists that want to maybe make their music videos, or maybe they need help with their music. They don't know how to compose their songs.
Is it like a production house which you are planning for?
Exactly. That is my idea in the future, and also Christians artists to be able to come and put
Because
their ideas into action.
Because we want people like you to actually do it, because there are many artists who want to do the kind of music which you do, but they find it they shy around it. Is it like, what are the people gonna think about? There are not a lot of people doing it, even locally. Also, if you go on open mics and stuff, you don't see a lot of people doing the kind of music that you do. And that's why I actually came up with this narrative that what Kanye West is doing, what you are doing, is really important for people, those who actually want to do. Because maybe there's someone out there who's watching this video, they will listen to your story, and they're going to be like, okay, if she can do it, why can't I? Let me also try that. Because there are a lot of people, even with me also, because I've done some religious sort of songs as well in my like Hindu religious songs as well. And before doing that, I also found a bit like, I need to find ways like, how can I make it in a way that other people will connect as well. So because there are some people those who just do music to do music, and there are some people those who do music to sell music, or like do business and grow in the career. So you mentioned about your Production house.
Yes, that is
No,
one idea.
yeah, that's one idea.
One
Let's
idea.
talk
Oh
about
my
the
god.
second one.
The second idea is I love kids. So I have this idea of having a school
Mhm.
where kids can be formed in all the type of arts that you can imagine. Maybe it will be musicians, but
Mhm.
maybe they are dancers or
Mhm.
maybe they are actors. So
Mhm.
having like a music theater school
Mhm.
for kids to prepare and also for them to be on the camera like we are doing now,
Yeah.
but those kids to get used to that
Yeah.
because at the end I think that now we are going to have every time more technology and it's necessary as well this practice. And also I in my case I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. So yeah, that is my idea, to teach to kids having a school where they are formed in the art path. That is something that's in some schools, not in all.
Yeah.
It's not so often. Like I didn't
Yeah.
have so many dancing lessons in my school or artistic. So it's nice to have this opportunity.
Is it going to be in the UK or back home?
Good question. I don't know.
No, but what do you think? Because I don't know. I am much more close to back home, that whatever I do for society, because what you are planning for, that is not just like a business or like a career plan. It's like a plan for society. You want to do something for the society, that people are happy, they get opportunity, because they are students. I mean, we are lucky that we got the support where parents, they allowed us to do whatever we are doing. But there are some other kids, they just, it becomes the hobby for them their entire life. So it's like a social work technically you are doing. So yeah, I mean, I would say you should start from back home, because your roots are over there.
Yes.
Don't you think?
Yes. Totally. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah. However, still in London, I have the idea of doing my master here,
Okay.
and it will be. I have two options. Thinking, one is music theater, and the other one is psychology. I still have that since I will always have it.
Theater.
Theater,
We
right?
got it. It's
Okay,
music
okay,
theater.
okay. I live psychology.
Do you dance
Yes,
still?
yes.
Do you practice?
I don't go to lessons now. I only dance in my room.
Okay. No, but do you wish to like dance, let's say if you get a chance in a movie or whatever?
Totally,
Yeah. What
Yeah.
about acting?
totally.
Yeah.
That's why music theater master would be great.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But why UK?
Because UK first has English
Mhm.
as the common language. I
Yeah.
think English is very good because it connects you with almost every person.
In
Like
the world. Yeah.
it's the most known language.
Yeah, it's a global language. Yeah.
If I was having Italy as well as in my heart to go, it was Italy or the UK. But then I decided for the UK, one of the reasons was the language. I think, okay, if I compose songs in English, much more people will understand than if I compose songs in Italian or in Spanish. And the second reason is because I believe that here there's a lot of art,
Okay.
possibilities, theaters, universities.
Yeah. There are a lot of acceptance over here. The people those who appreciate music over here, or like art, any kind of art. Back home, it's a bit sort of like conservative. I mean, they do appreciate, but it's more like, okay, you need to study as well.
Yes.
So it's like that, you know.
Yes. And I have a third reason.
All right.
I don't know if you have realized, but in the UK, you find all cultures, people from every place.
Yeah.
So there is this happening, at least in me, that all the judgments from my culture, I had to leave them. Because here you find with all type of habits, all type of people, all type of thinkings, all type of characteristics. And that is what I have ever loved. A place where everyone is able to be who they are without fear of being judged.
Yeah.
And here it happens because we are all the time finding difference in front of our eyes of what we found common.
Yeah.
So that's another thing that now I can say this is very good from here.
So, but I think the reason it has a huge amount of demographic is, I think it's just in London. It's not in the whole UK.
Mm.
So my question to you is, masters, is it going to be London or is it going to be somewhere else?
I think London.
Okay. So you became a London girl now.
Yeah.
You're not gonna leave it.
Exactly.
Are you gonna stay here?
Sorry?
Are you gonna stay here only? You're gonna settle in the UK?
I think so. For my, you mean like a house here and in
No,
my
no, it's like
future?
you're gonna settle here only. Now home is gonna be UK.
I think so, yes.
Mhm.
Until God says, okay, now I want you to travel to another place.
Okay, got it. Yeah. So
Like
it's
Italy. I wish I have that in my heart. Please, God, send me to Italy.
what is it about Italy which you love?
I love that it is surrounded by sea, by the
Oh, okay.
sea. Oh my God,
You like weather?
I love the weather and
Mm.
having the possibility to go to the sea.
Yeah.
For me, the sea is very, very important.
Mm.
And as well, I like the culture, the language. I don't know if you know, but in the language of Italian, they use a lot of vowels.
Okay.
So it is like very musical in a way.
Oh, okay, got it. Mm-hmm.
And I love that. Yes.
That's a very good observation. As a musician, you're picking some of the characteristics of a language, because I've never heard anyone say or judge Italian language in that way. It's very interesting. Okay, so Italy, just because you want to go, you like the weather over here, but it actually contradicts your decision to stay in the UK, because UK weather is horrible. You came with the like tall jacket on. So what is it with that?
Why I'm here?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It just happens.
Yes, it just happens. But I don't know if it happens to you. I have such a certainty in my heart that I have to be here,
Mm-hmm.
that even if I wake up and it is all cloudy,
Mm-hmm.
I feel joy.
Yeah.
Because I know that I'm in the place where I have to be, where God wants me to be.
Mm.
And every day I go to the uni in my bicycle,
Mm-hmm.
and when it is raining, I have to put like a cap, everything, my shoes with protection, and I am under the rain in bicycle, and I feel that joy.
Mm. You enjoy it.
I enjoy it.
You got adjusted to this terrain, to this weather.
Yes.
Or is it like you are doing all of what you are doing because you have to?
I think that the weather is not what I choose about London, but I choose all that I'm doing.
Yeah. Okay.
So that is what makes me feel happy, even though the weather is not good.
Yeah.
And I choose what I'm doing. I love what I'm doing.
That makes sense. No, I really wish that you get the master's degree or the college, whichever you're gonna choose, and that goes well. Anything you want to say to our viewers out there? What's your next project is going to be, and where we can find you? What's your socials? Tell everything.
Okay.
And I'm gonna put on the description, by the way. So,
yeah.
Anyways.
Okay. So, what I have to tell you is that there is one verse that I always have in my mind that says that one thing I do, I forget what is behind, and I have my eyes in what I have forward, and I am going to that is the purpose why God has chosen me, why Christ has chosen me. And I always remember this, and I think that it goes also for people that maybe are not in faith, because sometimes we are very attached of things of the past, and sometimes we are so much we are thinking so much about problems, and that takes our view from what is really important. And what is really important is what we have in front of our eyes. That is the goal that he wants us to reach, and I think that is what I can say to the people that are watching. Also, to enjoy family, because family, I mean your family, the one that you have, maybe it's the friend that you have in apartment, the church, people of the church, enjoying that. I think that is one of the most important things. And you will find a new song that I have done in my Instagram, YouTube, everything. It will be called Where Could I Escape? And it has a beautiful idea behind. So enjoy it.
Okay, so but we okay, now I'm curious a bit because I'm a very curious person what that song is all about.
Okay. That song is about that song is about a person that is, let's go a little behind. I don't know how you feel it, but if you're an artist, maybe you could see art as a way of escaping. At least that was the way I was seeing it before. Every time I was dancing, I was escaping from every reality that was a suffering for me.
Yeah.
And now, every time I do it, it is different.
Yeah.
It is a deep connection, a deep moment of everything at the same time. Like it's eternal life. I feel eternal life when I'm doing art. And in this song, basically, there is a person that is having all these moments, like emotions that we have, anger. She feels in one moment that she's in the dark, in darkness. She feels very sad. She feels very happy. She feels in a moment where everything is going good. So that is represented by different dresses that she's wearing. And in all that moments, she finds one thing. She can't escape.
Okay.
From who? From one person that is watching her all the time. And that is there for her all the time. In the worst and in the highest moments. All the time.
That's interesting. And did you direct the video? Because you mentioned about the video.
Yes, I directed.
You directed it? Yeah. Great. So the video is going to come in her YouTube channel. It's in the description. Directed by her. And you wrote the song.
Yes.
And did you produce as well?
No, I didn't.
Okay, great. So name them also, like who did?
Tevi Luque and Gabi Luque.
Amazing. So are these producers, they are from the uni itself?
They are from Argentina.
Oh, shout out to Argentina.
One is in Spain and the other in Argentina.
Oh, okay. Okay, shout out to Spain as well. And yeah, we are looking forward to your new song and let's see what happens. And guys, this is epic from the scratch. So now we're going to create something from the scratch. You'll see the time lapse of everything, what's going to happen.